Question. If you had to survive one of the deadliest disasters in human history, would you rather have good medicine or good luck? Because back in the 1300s, people had neither, and yet somehow we're all still here to tell the tale. Imagine waking up one morning and half your neighbourhood is gone. Not moved away, not on holiday, gone. That was daily life during the Black Plague, a disease so brutal it wiped out roughly 1/3 of Europe's entire population. It was, frankly, history's worst house party. Everyone showed up, and almost nobody left. So the real question isn't just how the plague spread, it's how anyone survived it at all. Stick around, because today we're unpacking the science, the strategies, and the sheer stubbornness that kept humanity alive.
Let's start with the basics. The Black Plague, also called the Black Death, was caused by a tiny bacterium called Yersinia pestis, which, frankly, sounds like a villain from a budget superhero film. It didn't travel alone, though. It hitched a ride on fleas, and those fleas hitched a ride on rats, giving us history's least glamorous road trip. Picture a trade ship, packed with grain, sailing from Asia toward Europe. Below deck, rats scurry between the cargo, completely unbothered, like uninvited party guests who've made themselves at home. Every time that ship docked at a new port, it wasn't just goods coming ashore, it was death. Quietly walking down the plank, no ticket required. Once infected, the disease hit the body hard, causing painful swellings called buboes, high fever, and in many cases death within days. Not exactly a fun souvenir.
Here's where it gets frightening, and yes, a little gross. Medieval cities were, by modern standards, filthy. Waste was thrown straight into the streets, so watch your step. Clean water was rare. Homes were cramped, often with entire families crammed into one small room. No personal space, no privacy, and definitely no Wi-Fi to distract from it. Rats thrived in this mess, like fish in water, or honestly, like teenagers in a messy bedroom. And because nobody understood germs or bacteria yet, they had no idea what was actually causing the sickness. Some believed it was punishment from the heavens. Others blamed bad air poisoning the atmosphere. So instead of stopping the real cause, people often made things worse, crowding into churches to pray together, unknowingly spreading the disease even faster. Let's look at the numbers. They are staggering. No jokes here, just the facts. In just a few years, the plague killed an estimated 75 to 200 million people across Europe, Asia, and North Africa. Entire villages were abandoned, farms sat empty with no one left to bring in the harvest. Bodies piled up faster than they could be buried. It sounds like a horror film, except this was real, and it lasted for years, not hours. With numbers like these, it's almost hard to believe humanity made it through it all. But we did. Here's exactly how. The very first survival tool humans discovered wasn't a medicine. It wasn't a magic potion either, sadly. It was distance. Good old-fashioned staying away from each other. In the Italian city of Venice, officials noticed something important. Ships arriving from infected areas seemed to bring the sickness with them. So they made incoming ships wait before anyone could come ashore, essentially inventing the world's least fun waiting room. They waited 40 days, and that word in Italian is 40 giorni, exactly where we get the modern word quarantine. Some towns went further still, sealing their gates completely, refusing entry to travellers and separating the sick from the healthy. It wasn't comfortable, and it certainly wasn't fun, but distance, quite simply, saved lives, proving that sometimes the best plan is just to not be near anyone.
But here's something surprising. Not everyone exposed to the plague actually died from it. Some people's bodies fought back, and won, like tiny internal underdog stories nobody wrote a movie about. Modern scientists studying old skeletons and ancient DNA have found specific genetic mutations in survivors and their descendants, mutations that made their immune systems more resistant to the bacteria. In simple terms, some people were biologically better equipped to fight off the infection, basically nature's version of picking the strongest character before the game even starts. It wasn't a conscious choice, it was pure biology. But it meant certain family lines were simply more likely to survive, passing those protective genes on to future generations, including, in small ways, to us today. So if you've ever felt weirdly tough for a head cold, thank your ancestors.
Beyond biology, human behaviour itself started to change. Doctors, even without understanding germs, began wearing strange beak-shaped masks stuffed with herbs and flowers, believing it filtered bad air. It looked less like medicine and more like an early Halloween costume, but stay with me. The science behind it was wrong, but the mask accidentally created a physical barrier between doctor and patient, so somehow the silly-looking outfit actually helped. Communities also began burning contaminated clothing, improving how they buried the dead and avoiding densely packed gatherings. Trade routes shifted, markets emptied out. Slowly and painfully, people learned through trial and error which behaviours helped and which made things worse. It wasn't organised science yet, but it was, awkwardly, the beginning of public health. Incredibly, this disaster reshaped society in ways that helped humans long term. With so many workers gone, survivors could finally demand better wages and better treatment from landowners, an early and rather grim lesson in supply and demand. Some historians argue this shift in power helped break down the rigid feudal system that had trapped people in poverty for generations. Cities began investing in cleaner water systems and basic sanitation because they'd seen firsthand what filth and overcrowding could unleash. Turns out, nobody wants a repeat performance. In a strange twist, one of history's darkest chapters helped push humanity toward cleaner cities, stronger immune systems, and the very first ideas of public health as we know it today. So, how did humans survive the Black Plague? Not through one single miracle cure. Sadly, no ancient superhero swooped in to save the day. It was a combination of factors. Distance and quarantine, natural genetic resistance, changing behaviour, and, yes, a fair bit of luck. It's a powerful reminder that even in humanity's darkest moments, we adapt, we learn, and we push forward, usually while looking a bit ridiculous in a beak mask along the way. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. It really helps this channel grow. And unlike the plague, subscribing is completely free and totally harmless. Drop a comment and let me know what historical mystery you'd like explained by Stickman next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.